Hello and welcome to Health and Wellness Master Session. Here we invite experts from different spheres of health and wellness to come and share their knowledge and experiences with us. A part of Ogilvy's open knowledge initiative called Making Health Matter. Pharma is interestingly much more than medicines. It is a complex interplay of three things, which is science, regulation and commerce. And the impact of the same is felt on the last mile too, which is the retail. If you see the retail in healthcare, it has gone from standalone stores to organized retail and now to e-pharmacies. The change is continuous, and this change is going to be even more pronounced during these current times, which is the COVID times. And to share with us what these changes are, how these changes have been happening, and what changes are about to happen in the retail environment, we have invited a new guest for us today, and that is Milind Thatte. Milind Thatte is the Managing Director of Procter & Gamble Health. He looks after the Indian subcontinent. Over his 28 years in healthcare, Milind has performed a variety of roles, from manufacturing to R&D to sales and marketing to commercial excellence to business excellence to BU head and of course the general manager. And this he has done so with a whole lot of reputed Indian and multinational pharma companies including Ranbaxy, Cipla, GSK, Novartis, Merck and now of course P&G Health. Milind's motto is Carpe Diem, which is seize the moment. So we will invite Milind today and ask him to tell us how we can seize the moment for retail and healthcare.
Certainly, I can see the change which is happening across. People are more focused towards preventive medicine, also towards self-care. Footfalls in the doctor chamber have fallen. Doctors are also keeping their clinics closed or reduce the hours of time that they are spending in the clinic. All this has had an impact clearly on the retail. And as the fear psychosis keeps grappling about COVID-19, it is likely that e-commerce is going to gain further. All our distribution system are flowing through the stockist and retail pharmacy network. Therefore, today it is immaterial of saying whether a big company or a small company has a different scale of influence. But yes, the big companies have been able to move the government in facilitating the entire infrastructure, which is certainly helping the overall industry. But where the impact is happening is at the retail store, and that impact is pretty significant. We can clearly see that retail pharmacies were serviced by the stockist almost every day, or in some cases maybe alternate day. And each of these retail pharmacies are also serviced by multiple stockists. You see today what's happening across the board. The servicing has drastically come down. The servicing happens once in 3 to 4 days. So which means, the stock situation at pharmacies are really going down. And this is one of the reasons why even the government is keeping a check to ensure that how can we facilitate the distribution of drug. But yes, many big brands are today not available in pharmacies if you go and check across, which in normal case would have been not the case. There is a clear distribution challenge that the industry is facing, and as a result, we can very clearly see that the stock position in most of the brands are coming down. More so in specialty, if I were to say, products which are for rare diseases or oncology, the challenge has been in terms of getting the products into the country, because we had the initial, challenge of custom clearance, then getting the products distributed through the transport, which even today remains a big challenge. So having said all this, I think it's immaterial of specialty or mass products. At this point of time, for retail, transportation is the biggest challenge. Let me first give a disclaimer here that in this country we don't have OTC rules. So every company that calls itself OTC, the pharmaceutical OTC, not the Ayurvedic, not the health supplements or nutritional supplement, but every company in the allopathic domain who calls itself OTC is operating in a grey domain. Having said that, is there an approach difference? Yes, the approach difference is we would want to create the self-care usage, the self-care buying from the shoppers, but not necessarily that will happen. As I can very clearly see, the consumer mindset today has changed a lot. With the current uncertainties, the buying patterns have changed. Consumer is holding back the cash. There is a clear liquidity issue in the marketplace, and even if you look at the categories which are self-care or something which is supplements are not growing enough today. One of the issues is of course transportation, which as I said earlier, it remains a big challenge. But the other thing is the consumers are wondering, is it essential? Let me save the money for because you don't know what's going to happen tomorrow. So there is a clear pattern which is emerging when it comes to the consumer buying, and which is also impacting the companies how they approach OTC or even the RX products. I think the role of generic prescription will not be so significant because although government has been already pushing for generic prescription, or doctors should not write the brand name, but that's not going to happen so soon because there is a clear understanding that the companies who are promoting their brands come with a certain aspects of quality, the price point attached to each of the brands. So I don't foresee much of a difference there. The way the situation has emerged or forced the whole of industry to go for a new paradigm shift, there will be some changes that you will see in the retail redistribution. However, we need to understand one thing, that the convenience stores, the convenience pharmacy stores, which are in the streets across India, would not vanish away so soon. There is a reason for that, because let's say I have a fever, I can't be waiting for an e-commerce to deliver my paracetamol tablets after 2 days. I want it now, right? So it will continue to operate in tandem with the e-commerce. So the retail pharmacies would continue to operate in tandem with e-commerce, surely. There could be another play and plug model which will also emerge, where e-commerce partners with the retail pharmacies for deliveries, to loyalty members, who are placing their orders through the apps or through those particular portals. That is another short emerging scenario. It's also likely that there will be more competition in e-commerce. Today there are barely about 4 or 5 companies who are operating in e-commerce, but then as we go forward, this is an opportunity which is growing, and therefore more companies would certainly venture into this. I won't be surprised even if big pharma companies set up their own e-commerce portals or e-commerce platform to cater to patient needs and connect with distributors as well as pharmacies to ensure that the deliveries of the drug happens to the last mile.
Thank you, Milind. That was indeed very insightful. Dear viewers, here are my 5 takeaways from Milind's session. The first, COVID has disturbed the pharmaceutical distribution chain also, and that we have to put alternate pathways and contingency plans. Milind then spoke about e-pharmacies and the fact that their time has come, and he mentioned that it is time for the brands to actively consider engagement with them going forward. He then spoke about people and the fact that increasingly people are indulging in preventive self-care. This is an opportunity for brands to reposition themselves in those lines. Then he's told us about generic prescriptions and the fact that brands need not be scared when it comes to generics, and that they should continue to stand strong on their promise of quality. And the last he talked about is the fact that the future of retail is going to get increasingly interwoven with the pharma world itself, and that pharmaceutical companies have to be very carefully planning for both the older one and the newer formats of retail. I hope you've enjoyed this master session from Ogilvy. We certainly enjoyed it, and we look forward to bringing you more in the near future. Thank you.